Who was Lisa? By day, she taught art to middle schoolers, creative, patient, the kind of teacher students remember years later. In the evenings, she worked part-time at a local card and gift shop. Friends describe her as the friend who never missed a birthday, the co-worker who kept the break room laughing, and the daughter who called home just to check in. April 14th, 1992. Lisa finishes her shift at the gift shop. The next morning, her car is still parked outside. The store is unlocked. Lights are on. Her pocketbook remains there, but she doesn't. For a close-knit town, that detail lands like a siren. Police respond. There's no sign of a cash grab, no typical burglary chaos. Instead, something more chilling, an abrupt interruption. Investigators begin canvassing the area, checking nearby roads, fields, and the social circle where Lisa was most loved. Days later, the search ends in heartbreak. Lisa's body is found. The medical examiner confirms what the community feared. She had been kidnapped, sexually assaulted, and murdered. The brutality of the crime ignites one of the region's largest investigations. Detectives chase every lead. They interview coworkers, friends, and customers. Dozens of tips pour in. A handful of names surface, some whispered more than others. But a case as sensitive is built on evidence, not rumor. Evidence was collected, meticulously. Biological material, trace fibers, fingerprints. For 1992, the DNA technology was good, but not decisive. Profiles were partial. Databases were limited. The case teetered between promising clues and painful dead ends. Years pass. What kept this case alive was patience and preservation. Every swab, every sealed envelope, stored for a future that investigators hoped would bring better science. And it did. As DNA testing advanced through the 2000s and 2010s, more precise profiling, expanded databases, the lab revisited Lisa's evidence. Eventually, the DNA profile became strong enough to be compared again and again. Still, it needed a name. And the case needed one more thing, a break from the human side of the story. In 2017, a new tip surfaces pointing to a man who had long been on the margins of suspicion, Gary E. Scara. Investigators obtain DNA for comparison. The results align. The profile matches the biological evidence from the 1992 crime scene. Alongside the forensic hit, police recover a handwritten confession attributed to Scara, adding a second, devastating pillar to the case file. In 2018, faced with overwhelming evidence, Scara pleads guilty to charges including murder, kidnapping, and aggravated rape. The courtroom is somber. Family members speak about the 25 years of grief that began on an ordinary April night. The judge imposes a life sentence. Justice arrives, late but unmistakable. What does Lisa's case teach us? First, the power of preserving evidence. The chain of custody, the unbroken record of who handled what, when, and how, kept her evidence trustworthy for decades. Second, the impact of advancing science. DNA that once whispered became a clear, court-tested voice. Third, the stamina of investigators and families who refuse to let a file gather dust. And Lisa herself? She remains much more than the center of a case file. She's the teacher who inspired kids to see color where they only saw blank paper. The daughter and friend who made life feel a little brighter. When a community insists on remembering the person, not just the crime, it reshapes how we talk about justice. The final message is simple. Time doesn't have to be the enemy of justice. When evidence is cared for, when leads are pursued, and when science advances, the truth can still rise, even after 25 years.